Our next question comes from our guest, Sean. Sean, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
All right, so I wanted to know, all right, I got a son. He plays soccer. You know, I want him to play hockey, but he likes soccer, so, you know, I live with that. And he's got some performance anxiety. I mean, the kid's good. He's good, okay? So, you know, he's nervous, though, when he's going out there. I don't know why, all right? So how would you say you work with kids, athletes, okay, to improve confidence, to improve their performance? Because, I mean, what I'm doing is not working.
Okay, so you're attempting as a parent to work with your son.
Yes.
And do you have other children as well?
Yeah, 2 more.
Are they older or younger?
They're younger.
Okay, so this is your first experience with your son being the oldest one, and you're wanting him to be the best he was born to be, right? So when you say he's good, you mean that he's capable and you know that he's talented and able to perform. So you're questioning what is it that happens where his performance is lacking in some way.
Yes,
correct?
I am.
Okay, so the idea is that children these days have a lot of pressure on them to succeed, you know, on the playing field, in the classroom, and there's a lot of competition. So everybody starts at a very young age. They may start playing a sport at 5 years old. So by the time they get older, there's a lot of expected of them. So how old is your son?
12.
Okay, so by now he already has a reputation, and he has some stamina to go out there and continue to play soccer. So that's great for him, right? Because a lot of children quit by that age if they start very young. So what I would suggest is that you as a parent are empathetic to his situation and maybe relate back to when you were at 12 years old or just starting almost your teenage years, and to remember what it was like to perform. Now, practice is very different than competition. So you might notice in practice he does very well, right?
Yeah.
And then in the competition he's a little off kilter. So what I would suggest is that he learn these coping strategies and the skills like relaxation, which is really muscle readiness. And when you're relaxed, you can just enter the zone and focus better. So especially with a team sport, so you have your role, but you also have to play with other members of your team. So he has to know his role. What is his role? And also, of course, play along with what the coach says. But also, he has to have his mindset before he even gets out onto the field to do a mental rehearsal, which involves looking at what it is he expects to accomplish, exactly seeing himself, feeling himself, hearing himself right there on the field. And the more he does that, the more comfortable he'll be. And then, of course, he's open to receiving the ball, passing the ball, whatever his role is. And he can see himself exactly in that place, and what will I do if this happens or that happens. So he's aware of how to respond in any given situation, being very focused. And the more he does the mental rehearsal, and the more he puts it on a feedback loop without making a judgment about it, just to try to fine-tune it, the easier it becomes. And then these other skills like positive self-talk are very important, and that's a role as a parent as well, to keep the dialogue very positive and to listen to what your son is saying, and to have this dialogue where you can say, you know, that sounds a little negative, let's try to make that more positive. So eventually your son will learn to do that on his own. And then the idea that he's had success in the past on the field, so he can remember a game where he scored and you know he had a great performance, and bring that right into the present moment. And that's called mental recall. And that's a very, very powerful tool. I use that all the time with athletes, and I get amazing results.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. I mean, hearing it's the easy part, right?
That's
Putting it into
right.
practice, that's what I'm going to have to work on.
Yes.